What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to the championship edition of the Tuesday Track Talk podcast, episode number 106, featuring your Three Stones pit crew. I'm your gas man, Cam.
I'm your jack man, Cal.
I'm your tire changer, Cam.
And as I alluded to here in the intro, we've got a championship episode on the docket. We're going to talk all things championship. We had 3 championship races here this weekend at Phoenix, coming fresh off the press here as we record on Sunday night. So we've got no shortage of storylines to talk about. And I was going to make this comment, but this will probably be an off-season topic, episode number 106, the number of suggested playoff formats this off-season. But I'm sure we're going to get, that'll be an off-season topic for sure. But we've got some championship races to talk about. And as I said, no shortage of storylines. But before we hop in and talk some championships, let's do a quick check-in. How we doing, boys?
Well, I'll go first because mine's not quite as exciting as the other guys. But Badgers had a bye week, and the Packers looked like dookie, I think is the best word to describe it. We got beat by the 4-4 Panthers at home. And
second
we
largest
for 6 points as a 2-touchdown favorite.
Second largest underdog win, I think.
Yep.
So for whatever that's worth.
Well, it makes me glad that I
go ahead.
I was going to say, it makes me glad that I wasn't able to watch any of the game then.
No, it's painful, to be honest with you.
Horrible. We never punted, but we scored 6 points. So figure that out for yourself. It was so bad.
Yeah. Like you said, on a positive note, at least the Badgers didn't lose this weekend because they didn't play. So got that going for us. But outside of that, we got a little boots on the ground here for out in Charlotte, North Carolina there for the tire changer. So he's got a jam-packed weekend racing coming up. So
yeah, a little bit different background scenery here than what others might be accustomed to. Yeah, it's been a long day. I was up at 3 o'clock this morning to catch a flight down to old Charlotte. Bummed around a little bit and checked into the old Airbnb here before, just as cars were rolling off for base laps.
Perfect timing. And
for those that don't know what's going on, what are you doing down there?
Well, so we'll also allude to it here later on in the podcast. But I am down here for the World Outlaws finals this week. I'll be at Millbridge on Monday and Tuesday for the Extreme Outlaw Midgets, and then I'll be at Charlotte Wednesday through Saturday, or the dirt track at Charlotte, I should say, for the World Outlaws and Super Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds. So I got 6 nights at the racetrack coming up.
Yeah, we always mention this at the end of the episode, but I love chiming it in here. Don't be afraid to like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We appreciate all that. And that's a little teaser here. We're going to get some new content on the channel here as we got boots on the ground down in Charlotte, North Carolina. So be on the lookout for that. Shorts. Got put those out pretty consistently. So you're going to see some a lot of new content coming in the future. So but yeah, as we always say, don't be afraid to like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell on so you can get those notifications when we drop those shorts. And we appreciate all the support. But let's get right into it here. We've got 3 championship races to talk about, plenty of storylines. And let's talk Friday night. Obviously, championship format has been hot topic, but felt like all season it's been Heim time, and he does it again on Friday night, ultimately gets the race win, claims the championship. But I want to start with you guys. What were your thoughts on the race? What storylines you taken away? And where do you want to go from there from Friday night?
Well, I think obviously we got to that last restart of the race. It could have gotten a lot. We could have had a lot different conversation based on how that turned out. And we'll maybe talk about it here in a little bit, but I think obviously the right champion or the deserving champion, both for just how that race played out, but also for the season as well. And I think, honestly, especially compared to what last year was, that race was a lot calmer than what it was last year.
Correct. Yeah, when you sail them off into what's now 1 and 2 with the new, I always have to think about when I say which turn numbers it is because I'm so used to the old layout. What is 1 and 2, and you're in the middle of 1 and 2, and they were quite literally 7 wide, and you're just hoping to God that when it narrows up, that the boys can get it organized, and they did. And ultimately, like when you look at how the season has gone and how everything kind of played out, it was going to be somebody was going to have an immaculate night to take the title from Corey Heim.
Yep.
The dominant truck all year, they were going to have to either struggle really bad or someone was going to have the perfect night start to finish to be able to get the championship from him, just because that Tricon group has been so lights out from the first green flag of the season till the very last lap.
Yeah, and I think you watched the majority of the race and you just felt like, I don't want to say he was invincible, but you felt like it just nobody had anything for him. And the only way you could have something for him is strategy call, which we were pulling for him, a Wisconsin born and raised truck racer, Ty Majeski. Gave it everything he had. And you just felt like even when they were on even tires, like you just felt like he just didn't have the truck for anything for Heim. And then ultimately at that last restart, or shortly before it, when he went with the two tire stop, was about a truck length and a half from going back to back there, with that caution. And I don't know that I've ever heard a bigger F-bomb in my life on the radio. But
yeah,
it, like you said, it's been Heim time the entire year. He's been just dominant with what he's done, and can't say we expected an outcome other than what happened on Friday night.
The hard part is you don't want a lap car to be the story of the end of the race, and ultimately it kind of was. Did it affect the outcome? I would argue majorly.
Yep.
He was 10, 12, 15 yards, whatever you want to call it, 30 yards from being your Truck Series champion, back-to-back Truck Series champion. That caution comes out, and we now have a whole different conversation of a surprise champion as compared to the guy that dominated the entire season.
And to piggyback off of your point, like, I mean, you had two scenarios that played out like that. Yeah, obviously you had Connor Mozak, who known had a tire rub, clear as day.
Two laps prior to that had a major issue.
Lets it blow to bring out that caution that brings out that restart. And let's keep in mind, the only reason we were 7 wide on that final restart is because we had what, 2 trucks that stayed out on those old tires.
Yep.
On that restart with that final restart with 2 to go. Like,
yep.
Where's the situational awareness from the box, the team, the driver? Like, you don't want to be the guy that messes up a championship race, which happened today as well. But, we had that scenario almost play out. Well, actually, it really did play out in the truck race.
Yep. Yeah, it's the underdog story to the dominant truck all year. And there's a reason that truck in particular that had the issue, there's a reason that they got called to the NASCAR trailer after the race, rightfully so.
Yep.
So they got little unscheduled meeting after the race for themselves. So, knowing that they were also a teammate of a championship 4 contender.
And yeah, I was going to say, touching on him, looking at the championship 4, Ankrum was really, it felt like he was out of the picture most of the race, which is unfortunate. Just missed it, didn't have a speed. He was putting around back in 15th, that 10 to 15 range. So he never really was within striking distance. Obviously, Honeycutt, he was up there, was able to mix it up with them, Majeski, and then Heim, and then also another truck that was bad fast was the old 34 machine Elaine Riggs, or 38. I don't know what number it is. Why I'm blanking on that, but yeah, and I don't know if we're going to go down this rabbit hole right away, but I guess I will. Is yes, I'm pulling for Ty Majeski, and to be able to separate my feelings from the logic. That last restart where Heim went to 4 tires, and going into that 7 wide. Listen to Majeski's radio; they were obviously pleading for it, but I don't know what your thoughts are. I'll just throw it out there. Of 1, him laying back, and 2, him being half a truck lower coming across the stripe, which ultimately led to him being able to be on the very bottom of that 7 wide, get all those trucks before that caution, and ultimately was the race and championship winning move. So I'll throw it to you guys, your thoughts on him laying back, that being half a truck length low coming across the line, what your thoughts were, fair fall, what you guys want to do with that.
I'm going to leave you with one statement. Ask Caden Honeycutt.
My point too is that I couldn't really come up with an answer because I don't feel like the replays really showed a very good, at least from my perspective. I could be wrong. My days are getting mixed up as it is, but it's such a ball and strike call when it's coming to laying back to start off with.
So I'll start. I'll chime in here from the replay that I saw, which was basically, I don't know if it was the blimp basically in 1 and 2 with them coming to the line or the infield. I don't know, but I felt like there was at least a truck length between him and the truck in front of him, from what I saw.
But who's to say that? Like from what I saw as well, there wasn't really anybody up behind him as well, so it wasn't like he was impeding on another guy as well. I'm not defending him by any means. I'm just saying, like, you see lappers lag back all the time.
Yeah.
So how is that any different? Especially when he wasn't impeding on somebody else's restart.
This is true.
I also just don't think that, and given we're banking on TV for a lot of information as well. And if that, let's just say if that goes green, like we don't get through that wreck after they go 7 wide with Butcher and all them, Heim takes the white. Let's just say he does take the checkered. NASCAR is in a really bad predicament now of having to review that restart and having to make that call, knowing that Heim just crossed the finish line to not only win the race, but win the championship.
Correct.
So
it's a lose-lose situation almost.
But I guess I don't know.
Or now that caution played out, do you go back and make that review? You know, that's the same thing as like a delayed call in football, right?
And so, and I guess I'm trying to be fair, and separate my feelings and emotions from the logic behind it. But I was queued up on Majeski's radio, and they were obviously screaming for them to go talk to an official to review it. I mean, and Majeski said they've been dogging us all night about no laying back and you've got to be in line. And they obviously, I don't know, I don't want to say it was him, because he did say on X said some of the stuff that was being said was not him. It was on his radio, but it wasn't him. But they were like, somebody on his radio was like, it's clear as day. He's laying back. Let's go back and look. Let's find the SMT on this and let's look at it. But then I also saw a camera angle that made it look like he was half a truck lower coming to the line. And I just thought, I'm like, boy, Honeycutt. I mean, Buddy got zapped right away for
right away in the race.
Yeah.
Right away in the race. And I'm like, damn, if you're going to set the tone for how this race is going to go and you're going to do that, like, hey, it's probably not the popular move. But if you're going to do it to one championship guy, I mean, that sets the precedent for how you should.
And I think Heim got nabbed for it. Was it last year?
I believe so.
For that?
Yeah, I believe so.
Late in the race and cost him that one.
Yep.
So yeah. But then it goes to the whole thing of like, now we're getting into, that's not black and white, that's gray area. And
right. Yeah.
I guess you can't hate him, hate the game, because he's playing in the gray area and it's coming down to one person's judgment.
Mm-hmm. What's the phrase you always throw out? He's playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers.
Yep.
Correct. And he ultimately makes the move, and whether he laid back or not, or however you feel, and whether he was out of line coming to the stripe, he lived and died by the sword, because NASCAR could have ruled that, and that would have been a championship. It would have took the championship away from a move. But ultimately they didn't, and it ended up being a championship winning move.
So we kind of talk about this penalty a little bit. How about the absolute workmanlike day that Honeycutt put together to even get himself back into the conversation?
Oh, absolutely.
That fella had an absolute hell of a day, going mid-pack to the front, to the back to the front again. So, I mean, let's not hide the fact that the 52 was rock solid too.
Yep.
And I was going to say one, stock up for Honeycutt, and what he's been able to do with filling in for Stewie. And also, I think, however you want to look at it, stock up to the Helmar Friesen racing crew or stock down to Stewie. Because, I mean, obviously Honeycutt shows ultimately that you can do it. So I was going to say stock up to that team, being able for him to fill in and not ultimately be in the position to run for a championship. But then also Stewie, ultimately a bad injury, but kind of setting the tone for next year. When Stewie hops back in that ride, it's like, hey, Honeycutt could do it. Like that's now the standard for that 52 team.
It's Friesen's kind of the hot seat for his own ride.
Correct. Like
don't get me wrong, Stuart Friesen's a very good driver in his own right.
Yeah. Good for Fox to really spoil the whole what Honeycutt's plans are for next year.
I didn't catch that.
I did. They let it slip on air that he's going to Tricon.
See, and I didn't catch that. So he's got to be going in a Himes ride then.
That's what I'm going to assume. A lot of rumors around charters, so I'm going to take a guess. I know there's one going to a Toyota team that he's going to step into that 11. Well, 11 or whatever the number is said to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did catch that at the end. So props to Fox for absolutely blowing that for him. That was great.
Hey, that's kind of like Austin Hill doing that to Sheldon Creed a couple of years ago too.
Yeah. Bunch of idiots.
And one other topic too that I'll touch on briefly is a staple. Ultimately, that is going to go to a part-time schedule with some very interesting comments post race. The final race for the number 88, Matt Crafton, wraps up an illustrious racing career in the truck series. Mentions he's going to still go part-time. He wants to race tracks that he can actually race at. Says some other interesting comments. That's
Well, listen to the interview for yourself, is what I will say.
Not the
yeah.
He's been on the front side of some interesting comments in the past handful of years.
Correct.
Yeah. So ultimately that wraps up. I mean, obviously that 88 and the Menards bright yellow machine has been a staple of the sport. So that wraps up his full-time driving career. Obviously still going to drive some part-time. I would think he'd probably hop in that Thor Sport ride with, what is it, 66 Fenhouse. If
Baldwin,
it's still,
Sauter.
Yeah.
Garcia, or is Garcia full-time?
Garcia's full-time at 13.
Oh.
He has a solid run on Friday night. He's getting himself up there, but yeah, he made some interesting comments. Going out with a bang there, that 88 machine. But ultimately here, Corey Heim gets the makes the race winning move and championship winning move. He gets the win. So Corey Heim goes P1. Ty Majeski, we've talked about, finishes second. Caden Honeycutt finishes third. 3 of your top 4 racing for a championship go in your top 3. Lane Riggs finishes 4th. Rajah Kruth 5th. Jake Garcia 6th. 7th is LaJoy. 8th is Chandler Smith. 9th is Tyler Reef. And 10th is Jack Woods. So that rounds out your top 10. And Corey Heim laid down the fastest lap on the night for the trucks as well. So any other final thoughts on the truck series, Friday night action, and their season in general?
No, I mean, I feel like it was everyone had their backs against the wall with the 11. So,
yeah.
And I think overall, pretty solid year for the truck series. I mean, we've touched on it. It's been Heim time since the drop of the green at Daytona, and this puts the stamp on the season for him. Claiming the championship. Was it most races led or most laps led in truck series history and most races won in a season?
But he led a lap in every single race.
Yep, and that too. No.
So stay tuned on him. Don't think he's going to be back in that ride next year. So we shall see. But that wraps up the truck series, and we are going to be hopping into right around the corner. It's going to be silly season. Guys trying to line stuff up for next year and announcing that stuff. But we rolled right into Friday night, going 7 wide into 1 and 2. To Saturday night, we had the Xfinity Series championship race. Same song, different verse. Saturday night. Same storyline coming in. Zilich has been dominant all year. Little different verse, though, on Saturday night. Ultimately, Jesse Love claims the championship, wins the race as well. I'll kick it to you guys. What thoughts did you have on the Xfinity race in their season?
Take it away, because I'm in a blackout area. So have at her.
I think that was race of the weekend, if I'm going to be honest with you again. All of your championship contenders, for the most part, were in contention for that race. And I think that was it should have that put a really big dent in the nail that was the coffin for what is probably this playoff format. Like the year that Connor Zilic had, not just in wins, because obviously we all know about the wins, but going 18 top fives in a row and just the statistical year that he had and not walk away with a championship, like that's a shot in the nads, if I'm going to be honest. And then not to mention, he could have lost out rookie of the year if Carson Qualfo finished ahead of him. So, I mean,
Take it for what it's worth, I guess.
correct. Like, again, the Xfinity series is a great series. I think it's one of the best series that we have as far as just pure racing product.
Well, yeah, the car itself is just it creates better racing product.
Yep. And again, I'm going to throw this phrase out there. I think this was again a non-deserving champ. Take it again. If you think I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but that's just the way that I feel.
Yeah. And I think you could probably most of the racing internet's going to agree with that statement. You're certainly not the first person to say that. You're also certainly not the last person to say that. So I can follow that up.
Yeah.
Um,
Had 2 wins. One of them was at Daytona, which it's Daytona, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously one at Phoenix. So again, a driver that had 1 win, 9 top fives on the year. Average finish of 11th.
Yep.
And again, we couple points. Same song, as I said, same song, different verse. Top three guys really competitive most of the night. Love, Zilic, Allgaier running in the top. Fortunately, Quapple just didn't have it. Was again back in that 10 to 15 range most of the night. And I think the biggest point too, which for Love is obviously he's going to be a point. He's going to have the target on him for the playoff format winning. And it's like, I feel bad for the kid because he's 20 years old. He just won the championship. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But not for him. But I did not want to see him win because I don't need to see RC. I just don't need to see him win another championship. Just really didn't.
Yeah, I think this is a prime example of somebody playing the system. So we can't rough this kid up for it, right? Like this to this
Correct.
moment has been the most prestigious moment of his career to this point, right? Like we can't beat him up over it. Don't beat him up, beat the system up.
And like you said, and obviously a tremendous amount of work goes into, we've seen with this playoff format, a tremendous amount of talent to get to that spot.
Correct.
To even can't win the Super Bowl if you don't make it. And I mean, obviously he deserves a ton of praise for even putting himself in that position. Takes a lot of talent, consistency, and things to go your way to even have a shot at it. But if we are, which will, I'm sure this will be off-season topic number 1 or 2, playoff formats. If there is ever a glaring example for the people that cannot stand the current playoff format, here's just another example.
Yep. And unfortunately, this isn't going to be the biggest example that we're going to have.
Correct. Couple other storylines coming out of it. Obviously, it's the last race for Colleague. Temporarily, they say. as they put a pause on their program. But one of their drivers got themselves in a little bit of a scuffle with Christian Eckes, sailing it off in there and taking out the 41.
Oh, yeah.
So they had that conversation after the race. And then I don't know. The fact that we have a team owner and a crew chief in a physical altercation after the race
Yikes.
that work for the same organization, or one owns the organization, the other one works for it. Hey,
And and it's a heat of the moment type of deal. That's
yeah.
That's been something that's been brewing.
Yeah, there's been some decisions that have been made one way or another along the way that somebody didn't agree with, and it boiled over as the season came to an end. So, usually it's between teams, not internally. That's the first time I've ever seen that happen. So,
so I don't know the entirety of it. First off, we got a couple points there. Let's start with that Tommy Joe Martin getting heated. Supposedly is over tire strategy.
yeah.
We're having a heated argument over tire strategy?
Yep.
Like,
I know.
I don't know. So I don't know if it was they ended the race with a set of 4 fresh ones behind the wall.
Yeah, I think they did, because they were talking about the strategy from the 98 from the night before, and how all the 98 had left was their qualifying scuffs, but they had a set outside of that left. And I think that's where the issues got heated.
So I mean, look, it could be heat at the moment. And this could be this could also have stemmed from a year long of,
Struggling
or frustrations of like, hey, we know we can run better than this, but I gotta look this up too. But I mean, ultimately they were pumped because they got by the 11.
Yeah, to finish 20th in the standings.
20 points.
Yeah, to get the bonus. And then they get the bonus and the shit comes unglued on pit road.
Take your money and go home.
Yeah, just load your shit up and deal with it on Monday morning.
So, and I don't want to.
Oh my God.
And I don't want to knock. Well, I guess I just will.
He's going to say, I don't want to knock somebody, but he's going to go ahead and take a shot. So go ahead.
And do
yeah,
it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This just goes to show the whole, everything that Kaulig does makes you scratch your head. 21st and 22nd, 2 of their cars in the owner standings in the Xfinity series.
Well, one of them was the 11, primarily driven by Josh Williams. Who was the other one?
The 10 finished 22nd, and that was kind of wasn't that kind of like their all-star car?
Oh,
different guys filling in that seat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting one though. Just
Daniel Dye.
Daniel Dye.
Yeah.
So
who most notably is going to be in their truck program.
I
don't know what makes this really bad. Hold on, I gotta jump in here. You know what makes this really bad? Hendrick Motorsports number 17 car ran 12 less races than both those Kaulig cars, still finished 19th.
12 less races?
12 less races. That Hendrick Motorsports number 17 started 21 races out of the 33 and still finished 19th in points.
So I totally on board with that point, but let's remember, I mean, when you're putting Kyle Larson behind the seat for a couple of them, you're throwing William Byron behind the seat.
That's not an excuse.
It's a full. You have a full season to do
12,
so.
12 races, Cam.
You know
Not
what makes
12
it even
laps.
worse?
Not
Even if
12
they would have
laps.
made the playoffs, they would have finished no worse than 12th. Or no, sorry, 16th in the standings. Like,
Chris Rice himself said, yeah, we didn't have a great year this year. It's the first time in 5 years that we didn't win a race.
And back to my point of Coley, we've scratched our head at a lot of things they've done on this episode, on this podcast, and I think this um, is another head scratching result. And I know Chris Rice wants to get in front of the camera and say, "Hey, we're putting a pause on the Xfinity program." Maybe you're not putting a pause on it because you want to, maybe because you have to.
You got to remember
well,
those Ram trucks are fully funded.
well, all right. So that kind of brings up my point. Cam, you're a numbers guy here, right? You kind of thinking ahead to the future, right? Thinking
He's
ahead.
trying to.
Guess what money they don't have that they can use towards their truck program? That 20 place points fund.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's money that just went bye-bye.
Yeah. Yep. Waved that one right away.
You don't need to come to the banquet.
No.
Dude, I mean, that's big time money. And obviously, you see for that
Oh,
44
pumped
team,
that team was. Yeah.
that means the world to that team. Like,
Yeah.
that is. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess this just now seeing this, I mean, just put the stamp of approval on. Calling just makes your head spin. I don't want to. I guess part of it is again we're Wisconsin. We root Wisconsin, and we had somebody who they put behind the wheel for was it 6 Xfinity races in Derek Kraus, and he finished like 4 or 6 in the top 10.
Yeah.
And then they follow that up and they put Williams and Dye, and it's like, boy, for somebody that
Claims to want to win.
really claims to want to win, and somebody who finished top 4 and or top 10 in a couple of his audition races, like what more could you ask for? But yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
let's put a pause, let's put a pin in that conversation because we could talk into it. One of the off-season topics we should just dive into the state of each series. We can do a deep dive on the series, just where we're at, teams, season and review and expectations going forward, because we could sit here and go up and down this list about calling and not understanding any move they do. But going back to Friday night, ultimately, Jesse Love gets the win.
Saturday
Saturday night, gets the win, claims the championship, and
Zilch was P2.
was he or was it Almirola? Get loading up the.
No, Almirola was doing burnouts for the
Owners Championship.
Yeah, which is absolutely unbelievable. Didn't
Yeah,
win the race. Oh my! Go on.
Jesse Love gets the race win. Eric Almirola finishes second, claiming the Owners Championship. Connor Zilish finishes third. Brandon Jones in the 20 machine finishes fourth. Allgaier fifth. Sammy Smith sixth. Taylor Gray seventh. Sheldon Creed eighth. Austin Hill ninth. And Justin Bonsignor finishes 10th. Rounding out your top 10. So, again, it's a good race. Phoenix, I think, delivered.
Yeah.
Product was fun. Which just for anybody that can't stand the current format, which NASCAR was praying this situation wouldn't happen. It did.
Yep.
And so credit to Jesse Love. Heck of a drive from him to ultimately win that thing and win the championship. So something you can't ever take away from him. And
Yep.
kudos to him. So any other final thoughts on the Xfinity race on Saturday night?
I do actually.
Go ahead.
Gotta give kudos to Xfinity, the company itself.
Yep.
Obviously, they've done a ton of they've been in the sport for a long time. They've done they've asked a lot of the drivers, as fast as Xfinity Mobile. They always have their people and customers doing green flags and stuff like that. Like they've asked for a lot of stuff with them being the tournament sponsor. And they just did hey, thanks for letting us be a part of this. Here's the last stage of the race commercial free.
Yep.
Kudos. Wait a second.
Not only
kudos to them for just sponsoring the series collectively.
Yep.
And I was gonna say, not only that, but if they're looking for a cheaper sponsor, supposedly it was $600 a pop for any time a driver said as fast as Xfinity Mobile.
Yeah.
I did see that. So
that's like 3 times already for us now.
And Zilich supposedly said it I don't know however many times, but it netted out to be just over $37,000, if that is true. But if they're looking for a cheaper sponsor, where they can dish out $600 a pop, we will say as fast as it's kind of a tongue twister.
As fast as Xfinity Mobile.
Yeah, as fast as Xfinity Mobile. We'll
do it for $200 a pop.
For real. So,
yeah.
No, it's just a cool deal by them to be able to do that, and just a nice thanks for letting us be a part of this type of thing.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, I think that kind of leads us to the grand finale, huh?
Yeah, which was Sunday afternoon. For the illustrious Cup Series championship. We've got a lot of topics to talk about. So I'll just kick it to you guys. Where do you want to start on this?
Let's just talk about the race itself for starters. And I think the key point that we can talk about with the race is that we had a great tire for this race. I think we had a lot more. This was a lot just overall better product, I thought.
Better product. I agree with it. And I know we say that, and somebody's going to grumble because the final 4 guys had issues. That's the counter argument to this. But I think the racing product it produced outweighed the issues that guys knew they were going to have coming off of that Friday practice session. It wasn't a secret, let's be honest, that guys were having tire issues. That's not. It was no hidden thing. That it wasn't like somebody behind the scenes was pushing a button and going, "Oh, pop, there's a tire." Like, that's not how this is working. So I think the racing product it produced with the passing and allowing guys to move around in the different lines, I think that outweighed the issues that were kind of a counter product to that tire. That's my argument. I actually thought the racing itself was good.
Yep.
Guys could pass. I mean, look at what Briscoe did. Briscoe had an issue early. You want to talk about, again, even the one early, you want to talk about an absolute workman-like day. He did it twice. Back to the front, and he did it passing cars. It wasn't cautions and restarts and choosing. He was just passing freaking race cars.
Yep.
So,
and you saw in that first stage of the race, so as it went green, that you had to conserve your tire in order to have that long run that we saw out of Byron. He ran Hamlin down was able to get around him. But you saw Hamlin make the adjustment as well, whether it was him or Chris Gale up on the pit box, of making the adjustment of not giving up that long run speed.
Yep.
Then now you're getting everybody else to start thinking, all right, how am I going to manage my tires throughout the race, and when can I take these opportunities? And in Hamlin's case, that he did several times, you get out front in that restart, you just go, you just run away.
Gone. Yep. Yep. Absolutely gone. He kind of forced everyone's hand a little bit with that. I mean, the dude led 208 laps. So,
hell, what was I gonna say? No, I mean, even with, let's be honest, like Hamlin obviously dominated that race, right? And he probably had himself the best championship race, because obviously this isn't the first time, the best championship race he's probably ever had.
yep.
And there were some things that he did during that race that I think the one in particular was that um the one restart, Byron got out in front of him over heading into one. And he could have very easily rolled that right rear all the way around 1 and 2, but he just backed off, crossed him over,
Yep.
and at the moment, all of us, I think you two included, I think all of us are like, that right there was the championship move. That was the championship winning move.
Yep. Yeah, I thought he had it signed and sealed right there.
And that was, and who's to say maybe that was because Hamlin had mentioned before, like he has changed his mindset when it comes to running a race, especially Phoenix. And who's to say maybe that's what it was?
Yep.
So, just because we're on the topic already, and you talk about the championship winning move, ultimately comes down to that last pit stop. Larson goes 2, he goes 4. But I just saw 2 quotes from Denny post race that he said, Kyle Larson has the trophy, but we dominated. We did our job. We did the best we could. They're a championship team and a championship driver, and they're going to win a hell of a lot more than just these 2. But when everyone had to bring their best, it was evident who was the best today.
Yep. I would factually agree with that statement. Again, don't hate the player, hate the game.
And then he follows that up and says, in this moment, I never want to race a car again. My fun meter is pegged.
Would 100% agree with that statement.
I mean, have we seen any more severe of a heartbreak for not winning the championship or even a race to that fact?
Yeah, this one's up there. I mean, what other races come to mind? I mean, the races that come to mind for me are ones that you think of guys that are retiring.
Yep.
Dale Jr.'s last Cup race, Jimmy Johnson's last Cup race, Kevin Harvick's last Cup race. Like, when you think about the absolute studs of the sport in their last races, like, you always want to send them off that way. And, like, you look at how Jimmy Johnson's final season went, and it was a struggle. And you look at Kevin Harvick's final season. Yeah. But, like, that, I don't know. Those are the ones that come to mind for me.
Yeah. Especially when, like, and I was scrolling Twitter that last 15, 10, 5 laps, like, it was all this is as close as Hamlin has ever been to winning the championship. And it's just ripped right out of him.
And I don't know if you guys saw this too, which obviously, if for people that don't know, he's got the circumstances going on outside the car. And I don't know exactly what's going on, but supposedly his dad is terminally ill. And this was his last shot that his dad would ever have to see him win it. And so he's got that going on. And I don't know if you guys saw post-race or pre-race when they asked him a few questions, he was choked up, could barely talk.
Yeah.
And it didn't really even ask. I didn't feel like they asked him. I don't know. Maybe it was like I forget what the question was, but he was choked up and could not really even talk. But we talk about it all the time when you get in that situation, and what's the C word that as a race leader you never want to hear?
Yep.
Yep.
Caution. And I see this here. I just saw this come through as William Byron went and apologized to Denny Hamlin. He says, it just doesn't seem right. He had us beat. We were running second, and it's 4 laps to go, and you go into the wall and cause the caution. I don't want to be that guy. That sucks.
He probably feels as bad as Denny does.
Oh, absolutely. Knowing that his caution was ultimately the one that cost him that championship.
But the thing about it, I don't know. And I just said, like, when, like, I was, as I mentioned this in the group chat right away when it happened. It was a very obvious and blatant caution. It wasn't the phantom, oh, it's debris somewhere that we seem to notoriously get once in a while.
That was a textbook caution.
Blew a tire, pounded the fence. He was in the racing lane. There was nothing they were going to be able to do about it. So I just said my thing about it is you don't want that caution to happen, but if it's going to happen, it was very obvious and evident as to what had gone on, that it wasn't this mysterious go out and pick up a feather off of the racetrack sometimes like they like to do once in a while. So, yeah, I understand his disappointment, frustrations, feeling bad, but like in the same sense, he's got to do what he's got to do in that seat to push that car in the event the 11 has an issue. Right? Go back a lap or two before. If he doesn't have a sense that something's going to happen to that tire, his job is to drive that car as hard as he can in the event that the 11 does have an issue. He's got a chance to win a championship. So
Yep.
when that lets go, I mean, ask AJ Allmendinger. He wrecked 2 race cars this weekend trying to race just right front tires, and that thing slides up and pounds the fence. What are you going to do? There's nothing you can do about it, unfortunately. So, I don't know, at least it was just a very obvious and evident caution that it just wasn't the phantom debris.
Correct. And obviously, I mean, that was like you said. I mean, it wasn't phantom. It wasn't, whatever. That was, we were leading up to that point. Guys were shredding tires, which was left and right. They were, which was kind of odd. Right front, left front, right rear, like left, everybody's just shredding tires throughout
Yeah.
the race.
Testing the limits.
So yeah, ultimately, I mean, it obviously wasn't phantom caution. You absolutely hate that it was that happens, because I mean, I feel like everybody in the sport, similar to an Xfinity series feeling, is kind of left like floored and shocked that Denny didn't win that. Like I feel like the sport is kind of like stunned, like that ultimately Denny didn't win that. And yeah, you got a guy that didn't lead a lap of the race all day, who was, I mean, again, don't hate the player, hate the game, but like him and Briscoe they were climbing mountains from early in that race. Fast cars, but just were getting set back by tires and things like that. And ultimately, a guy that doesn't even lead a lap of the race wins the championship. Like,
Correct. That's the interesting part, It'd be like saying I never won a football game, but you won the Super Bowl.
So I'm gonna add a wrinkle into this conversation because I'm going through Twitter as we're kind of talking here because obviously you got Pulse Race stuff and different comments coming up. I go to Racing Reference here. Um, every race they post the non-playoff standings after X race. So I'm assuming what it is, it's the current points format, right? Um, minus just the playoffs. So it takes into account the stages, the quickest lap, all that jazz.
Yep.
The champion, if you were to stick to that points format, is Kyle Larson.
Interesting.
So if you're going off of the season-long deal with the non-playoff format, with the current point system, right?
Yep.
Larson's your champ. So that just adds a whole nother wrinkle to the conversation.
Right.
If you want to get super technical or, want to go way in the Wayback Machine, if you want to go back to the Winston Cup point standings, Christopher Bell would have been your champion.
I would make him a 2-time champion, actually.
Correct. So, again, take that for what you feel like it's worth.
Yeah, I don't know. No, the other thing to remember is let's not hide the fact, and they made it well known in the broadcast. Goodyear puts out a PSI rating for these tires and what guys should run. And what's the first thing Lee Diffie says? None of these guys are running the pressures that Goodyear recommends.
No.
That's their job to push the limits.
The only reason Goodyear says that is to cover themselves.
Oh,
hey,
correct.
We told you guys.
Correct. They're just not going to get got.
Correct. They 100% know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's just this is a liability thing. We told you guys this.
Here's the waiver that you virtually signed when we put this statement out.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, the racing was good. There was no guys really getting into each other.
Nope.
Really was no wrecking each other. It was pretty clean. A lot of the issues were just cars on their own. And even those cars that did have issues were able to keep themselves out of trouble with cars that were still at race pace. So that was the other positive part of that too, I think.
100%.
Go ahead.
I gotta say this because obviously somebody won the race, right?
Yep.
I don't know if you guys actually saw that move from Blaney to actually win the race, but I mean, he stole that race win coming out of 4.
Yep.
Like,
I didn't realize that he won the race with the post-race coverage.
Oh my God.
We'll get to that here in a sec, but again, and even then, Keselowski held his own on that lap and 3/4, lap to 7/8 on old tires.
Right. Yep.
So, and then Blaney, which is ironic that Blaney gets the win when it doesn't count for a championship for him as well.
Right.
But she was a force to be reckoned with. And I mean, you had no talk about opportunities to win that race. Track record Fords, I mean, are
on a heater right now.
Take it to the bank. Phoenix is a championship race that it's going to be Ford, more specifically that Penske camp.
I mean, Barry even ran fantastic.
Yeah. That goes back to the coverage conversation too. Why are we watching Hocevar and Barry race for 10th? I'm just curious. I get it, they're racing hard, but why that in particular?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to put people on blast.
But you're gonna go ahead and do it. It's like saying I'm
gonna get out a lighter and make a seat a little bit hot. But that 45 team.
Wait, yeah, non-existent.
Oh.
P26 today.
Oh, wow. Did Bubba finish?
No, he had that fuel pump. Well, he finished, but he several laps down because he had that fuel pump issue.
Yeah, they just kind of, when he pulled out of pit road, they
kind of finished. Ran 165 laps.
Got it.
I was gonna make a point.
Oh, nope. Time's up. Sunday Night Football's on. Time's up. Time to go to Sunday Night Football.
Got to go to Sunday Night Football pregame.
Yeah.
Kel, what were you
America.
What were you guys just talking about just a little bit before? I had a question I was going to pose to you guys.
The actual race itself, Blaney winning the race.
Barry and Holsevar.
Ford's dominating at Phoenix.
Lost it. Go on to post race.
I should know better. Like, this happens every year. We get the championship interview. We get the guy that got their heart broke because they didn't win it. Maybe get the other two championship contenders, and then we go to Football Night in America. We get no trophy presentation. We get no race winner coverage.
Did we get all four championship guys?
We only get two.
They didn't even get to talk to Briscoe.
Didn't even get to talk to Byron.
That's what I was before we can finish this conversation.
They didn't even acknowledge Blaney won.
Didn't even show him doing a burnout
that
or
said
anything.
That Blaney won the race.
Oh, dude, that was a $12.7 million to win race.
The fuck are we doing?
I mean, I can get with you on this one. Honestly, I can.
I'm not even saying that as yes, I'm obviously a Blaney fan, right? I don't hide that. But the fact that the race winner doesn't get any coverage, there was no burnout, there was no interview.
So this goes back to the whole, let's go back to this illusion or this situation, which I talked about it last week. Can't stand the situation when the race winning driver isn't the championship driver. It's a weird dynamic. Do you want to interview the NFC North championship coach, conference winning coach at the Super Bowl? Like, after the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, do you want to interview the Packers, Matt LaFleur, and say, hey, you won the NFC North. Let's get an interview with you. But then you got Andy Reid and the Chiefs out there celebrating the Super Bowl. Like, that's the dynamic where it is what it is, but it's weird.
Yeah, I get that. But what everyone wants is they want a format that the last 5 races aren't going to mean. The format everyone wants is going to be the last 5 races aren't going to mean pardon my French, aren't going to mean shit.
I already lost the E rating or the
child rating. Everyone wants this. Oh yeah, come, let's do 36 races. Well, the way it goes, the championship will be wrapped up with 5 laps to go, and we'll all just be fucking putzing around the last 5 races because the championship's decided. That's what everyone wants. I don't want that.
So
one race isn't great. I don't love one race. But I also don't love the last 5 being a throwaway. It's just we wait around to crown our champion.
I'll even expand.
Let's start showing our cards, because this will probably be off-season topic number 1 is playoff formats. But I don't know exactly how it would work, but I would like a 3-3-4. Let's get out a win and in. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of win and you're in. I don't know, cut the drivers down, and let's go 3-3-4.
Okay, so what are you going to do when somebody doesn't win a single race all year and wins a championship? How are you going to answer that bell?
Do you see that happening in today's?
I'm just going to go out on a limb because everyone grumbled about Logano winning that championship last year. Mr. squeaks his way in because Bowman got tossed. And then he goes on and wins a championship. If you have somebody that doesn't win a race, win a championship, it's no different than Landon Huffman going on Twitter and saying, I don't love this format, when you have Kyle Busch, who gets hurt, misses 11 races, and comes back and wins the championship. Kyle Busch himself replied to that tweet, by the way. It was 2 middle finger emojis, if you can believe that. But that's my next argument. So if you have somebody that just says, okay, fine, we've got the stage points, we've got this, we've got that, we've got the fastest lap, I'm going to run around and just flip script all the time. I might not win a race, but I'm going to just go stage points on you guys. And you have a champion not win a single race. What are you going to do?
Dude, I just saw somebody. X is a wild place to be. Somebody asked Jeb Burton when they can see when they're going to hear next year's plans, and he replied, "I signed a deal." And somebody replied, "Dude, you suck." Like, yeah. I don't know. The whole 36 race format's gaining. I feel like it's gaining a lot of steam, but that I don't know. If you want to lose views for the last half of the season, I think that's the solution.
For the record, I want to state the record here. In the 2 points formats that we've talked about, the non-playoff standings that Kyle Larson won, and the old Winston Cup standings.
Sorry,
Jesus.
trying to.
The highest non-winning driver finished 8th in points, and that was Tyler Reddick in both systems. So just want to throw it out there.
Fair enough.
I just I mean, again, we'll get into this rabbit hole of a playoff format at some point in time, but I just there was a lot that I think we all learned today from every aspect, whether it's the playoffs, race coverage, post-race coverage, acknowledgments.
But are we going to learn? Because this is what, like the second, third year in a row we're dealing with this.
I would say fourth, fifth year in a row.
We're going to add 6 more networks to watch races on next year too.
Yeah, we had 3 different networks for all 3 races too.
The only thing that would have been better is if the championship race would have been on YouTube TV and then it would have been on ESPN. Circling back on a little bit of race talk, I will say though, somebody who workman-like performance showed out today. Not only Larson, but Briscoe. I think that guy's going to be a problem. Yeah.
If he would have had a better first half of the season, even then, like he didn't need to have a better first half of the season or first little bit of the season. But yeah,
that
we want to talk about an early contender.
I mean, now that 19 team is actually doing sim work, they've got speed. Shout out Martin Truex. Jesus Christ. Dude was vibrations left and right, shredding tires. Like, dude was out of it. And when he had the car to do it, you saw him. He was driving around people, making them look like they were sitting still. Elliott and Logano were banging doors a little bit, going too wide. He just sailed it right in there, goes right around him. I mean, I don't know. For his first year in that camp, that 19 team is stock up.
I am here to stay.
Correct. And I think that 19 Bass Pro Shops is going to return to the form that we all know and love, which is championship competitor year in and year out.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. You're kind of like and I think this is kind of where everyone is because I don't know that there's a correct way to say it, no matter which side of the championship debate you sit on. You're just kind of sitting here tonight going, did that really just happen today?
Not feeling good.
You're just kind of a little bit like, rattled's not the right word, but you're just kind
of sucked.
Yeah.
Like that's again,
nothing on Larson whatsoever. Nothing on Hendrick.
Nope.
We said it before.
We've always said that he's a generational driver, right? And this just cements that.
Cliff Daniels is obviously a brilliant crew chief.
Yep. He is a Chad Knaus-esque crew chief.
Yes. You just kind of sit here tonight and you go, wow, damn, that really happened.
Yep.
I mean, I'm seeing some tweets and quotes though of Danny that says he's just still in shock.
Oh, he's going to be for another however long.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Chris Rice video definitely was not our day.
I hate to bring up sore subjects, but he's still got a lawsuit to deal with too.
Correct. Correct.
So
Chris Rice put out a video that says definitely was not our day. Looking forward to 2026. Great things to come.
Who said that?
Chris Rice. As he would say, smile, it's good for you.
Oh.
Got
out of that disaster because they wrecked a bunch of cars all weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out and say this. So I feel like if we don't, we're gonna be in this rabbit hole all day. Great season. Hate that it's over. Can't wait to see what we can do next year.
I would agree.
Like, I feel like 2 weeks ago we were talking about Daytona.
Yep.
Here we are. We're in Phoenix.
And one thing's for sure, we'll get more horsepower next year.
Like, I'm looking forward to the things that are coming up for next year.
Yeah.
And I think that is the cherry on the top of this race, the season, the format. I mean, no shortage of storylines all year long. The season was awesome from start to finish. This format has positioned us to expect the unexpected, and just a wild year, start to finish. And like you said, I already looking forward to next year and the things that are going to happen or changes that are going to be made, and some of the things that are going to happen. But
I just heard it on the pre-race show today for NASCAR radio. 11 weeks until Bowman Gray.
Yep.
That's 11 weeks to get your things right. And I mean,
and recoup. We just ran 28 straight weeks.
Yeah.
This was a grind.
Yep.
For everybody.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, yeah. So ultimately, we touch on it. Since you didn't see it on the broadcast, Ryan Blaney gets the win. Brad Keselowski finishes second. Kyle Larson finishes third. Logano fourth. Kyle Busch fifth. Denny Hamlin sixth. Josh Berry seventh. Michael McDowell eighth. Ryan Preece ninth. And Chase Elliott round out your top 10. So,
since you got the lineup, can you just hit where the other two championship drivers are at?
Yes, Briscoe ends up finishing 18th. Byron obviously hitting the wall, ends up 33rd.
Yeah.
So,
which also, I guess it was good to see all four of them 1, 2, 3, 4 at the restart at one point in time as well.
They were 4 wide.
Like, what more could you want if there is a plus to the playoff format? Like,
yeah.
What more
at one point they were going through the tri-oval quite literally 4 wide, 1 to 4, your championship 4. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, that wraps up the NASCAR Cup Series season. Kyle Larson is your 2-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. And if you're going to miss the NASCAR Cup Series, just continue to follow along on this podcast because while racing is going to go away, we're not going to stop talking about it. And I'm sure we're going to be diving into a whole host of off-season topics that are going to bring out some fiery arguments and some wild points and discussion topics. So while the racing is gone, we're not going to stop talking about it. We got the off season gives us a chance to dive into teams, schedules, playoff formats, you name it. So
and other types of racing.
that too. So it's hard to say, but NASCAR Cup season is officially over. So with that, let's hop into a little bit of news for for this week. Let's hop into the news section here, and I'll let one of you guys go first.
Yeah, I think I've got this orange section here. So, in the sprint car world, Tanner Holmes will be driving the, I'm going to assume, Busch Motorsports, number 13 full time in 2026, and will follow the high limit schedule. They will make their debut together later this week at the World Finals in Charlotte. This was the ride that bright yellow Pella Doors windows car that Jason Pursley left to go to KCK Motorsports. So Tanner Holmes is filling in. Holmes, I should say, is filling in for this one.
With that, real quick, his social media following, that is a massive gain for High Limit.
Oh, 100%.
He has twice as many social media followers than the series does.
Yep. And he's very like getting people into it as far as like, hey, this is break down the car, what we look for in tracks. Like he's a very like informative individual. Great follow.
Yep.
So, jumping in the super lit models, kind of looking ahead here. We were talking about other forms of racing. The Bill Bigley 128 that's coming up. Ricky Brooks announces the pay structure for that race at the Freedom Factory later this month, November 29th. 30,000 to win, 12,000 to start. There's going to be a $2,000 bonus for fast timer. Non-qualifiers will have a $1,250 race to win with $650 to start. I believe this number has gone up, but I thought there was 48 entries now.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, they're just kind of like teasing them.
But either way, they're teasing them, kind of releasing them one by one throughout the coming weeks. So keep an eye out for that. They also started releasing Snowball Derby entries. So
yep.
I keep on the social medias for that. Something that kind of got snuck in here during media availability at Phoenix this weekend. Tyler Ankrum confirmed that he will be back with that BMR racing team for 2026. And then staying in the truck side of things, Hallmar Friesen, we mentioned them earlier. They're going to be fielding 2 full-time trucks in 2026, according to crew chief Jimmy Villanueva. I don't know, I'm too tired. In an interview with Dave Moody on SiriusXM, which obviously, if the rumors are true, Kane Honeycutt will not be a part of that team. But I think he just made himself a good candidate if something falls through.
Yeah, for sure.
Going over to the head scratching camp here. Daniel Dye and Justin Haley announced they will pilot full-time efforts in the Ram trucks for Colleague Racing. This now fills 3 of the Colleagues' 5 trucks with full-time efforts. And I did see, I think Chris Rice said they will have announced the other 2 by the end of the month. So teams are already getting their stuff lined up for next year. I think they said on the broadcast 105 days for the trucks until Daytona. So not a ton of time when you think about it. Staying in the truck series, though, Lane Riggs announced he signed a multi-year extension with Front Row Motorsports. Obviously, he's found success with them and doing a good job. So he inks a multi-year extension. Going back to the head scratching camp, Colleague Racing announces they're going to pause the Xfinity series for 2026. Obviously, bringing on 5 full-time Ram trucks. That is where their focus and effort is going to be. And then in the Xfinity series, Junior Motorsports, Carson Quapple will now run full-time in the Xfinity series. We touched on it. I think last week was previously announced he was going to split a ride with Zilich. And I think was able to find the funding to do it full time. Obviously, was a championship for driver this past weekend, so he will be full time. Zilich schedule TBD. Sounds like he's going to drive for someone else in junior motorsports repaired cars. So Koppel will be going full time again next year.
Following that up, staying in the Xfinity Series, Sam Hunt Racing announces Dean Thompson and Harrison Burton will campaign full-time efforts in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series for next year. So they get two guys that nail down their full-time plans. This one's a little bit more kind of on the not released yet side, but coming from very reliable sources. Brandon McSwain will join Trackhouse Racing as the crew chief for Ross Chastain. In 2026, he will leave his current role with Hendrick Motorsports. So heading over to Trackhouse. And then in kind of a quiet surprise, Marco Andretti announces his retirement from motor racing. So there you have your news for the week.
Well, for one final time this year, we are giving out, for one final time, a NASCAR Cup Series driver is going to be in the running for it. We are going to give out the illustrious Wheelman of the Week. Got a couple nominees here, still some racing going on. But I'll take the first two. We just touched on it here. Larson steals the NASCAR Cup Series championship. Obviously, he had a big move there on that last restart in 1 and 2 when they were 4 or 5 wide, powered up on the outside and make it stick. Ultimately was the race or the championship winning move. And then with that, we'll throw him in there. We'll throw him a bone. Blaney ultimately steals the win with a last lap pass to win the race at Phoenix.
I guess I'll take the next two.
Yeah.
Corey Heim goes 7 wide to get the lead on what was the second to last restart of the truck race, which ended up being the winning move for his championship. And then Jesse Love wins the Xfinity race and the championship, defeating the almighty Connor Zilich to get his first championship.
Last one for the week, and this one comes about 20 minutes ago. Tyler Erb wins his second straight National 100 at East Alabama, cashing a $30,000 payday.
I mean, I know who I'm going for.
Go ahead.
Corey Heim. I mean, 7 wide. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I can ride with that.
I'll concede.
Who you're going with?
No, I mean, yeah, that's, guess I don't know that Larson really gets Wheelman of the Week. He didn't win the race, made one outstanding move there on that last lap, on the top of 4 or 5 wide, but outside of that, he was riding around in the back. Jesse Love just ultimately gets by Connor Zilich. And Turbo is definitely out after the stunt he pulled. Was it Saturday night?
What?
Yeah. So it's Corey Heim.
Yep. It's his first time, ain't it?
It is. It looks like. And second straight NASCAR driver.
Yeah.
It is officially Heim time. So Corey Heim is your Wheelman of the Week. And as always, shoot us a DM and we'll get you in contact with us and get you your award and winnings for the week. And look forward to chatting with you soon. So Corey Heim wins Wheelman of the Week. Next, we are going to touch on just briefly here, just a few races we got coming up. Obviously, we touched a little bit earlier. Tire changery is out in Charlotte. So let him touch on just what he's got coming up on the schedule for this week and one other race that we're going to touch on.
Yeah, so like I said, it starts with the Extreme Outlaw Midgets on Monday night, and Tuesday night they'll be racing at Millbridge to crown their champion. Nick Hoffman will be actually making an appearance in the midget race as well. Um, Looking forward to that. And then obviously Wednesday is qualifying night for the World Finals at Charlotte for all three divisions, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The sprint cars, late models, and big block modifieds are all in action as they get ready to crown their champions for the year as well. So I'll be, boots on the ground all week. Looking forward to it. I'm about 20 minutes from the racetrack from where I'm staying at, so it should be a grand old time.
Sweet.
Kelly, you want to touch on the next one?
Yeah, really the only other kind of one we're really keeping an eye on would be our great friends at the ASA Stars National Tour, who are co-sanctioning with JEG's CRA Super Series and the Southern Super Series as well. They will be at Nashville for the All-American 400 for the 40th running of that event in particular. So they've got 32 cars on the entry list, I believe, 32 or 33. Pretty big Midwest presence, actually, when you think about it. Levon Vandergeest, Ty Fredrickson, Ty Majeski, Derek Kraus, Gabe Summers. We got a whole slew of guys that are headed down to Nashville for the running of that race.
Yep.
That
And
can
if
be
you didn't know, you should just go ahead.
catch that on tracktv.com.
Perfect. Sign up for another subscription. Yeah, and then if you haven't or didn't know about it, just scroll social media. They must be doing some Xfinity mobile paid advertising, because if you follow any of the drivers on social media, you'll get about a 15-minute clip of them staring at their camera saying, "Oh, look forward to seeing you there. Go get your tickets." So you'll Nashville race will be coming up this weekend. So
They sold out at this rate.
yeah, for real. Let's just do, I'm gonna one last final point here we're gonna touch on before we wrap this thing up. Our Phoenix picks, just recapping those. Race picks.
Good deal.
Race picks. I went Larson, Kellen went Byron, and Cam went Blaney.
Somebody picked the guy that damn near finished last, and somebody picked the winner.
And then for the championship pick, I picked Larson, Kellen picked Byron, and Tire Changer picked Hamlin.
So you got the champ rate this year, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, in the race pick or in the championship pick, yes. As far as what we had predicted, we all flunked this year.
Yeah, because he had Bell who got eliminated.
Correct.
No, you got to remember, this is all tech is not complete yet.
Yep. And I'm assuming they'll probably do an engine tear down as well.
Yeah, they will tear that 5-car apart, top to bottom, left and right, upside down, right side up.
You might even do that tonight yet.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. So.
Okay. Any other final thoughts?
No, not really.
No, good year. Want to talk about next week?
Yeah.
The floor.
Yeah, so next week, gonna have a guest joining us for the second time in the duration of the podcast. It's fitting that it's the second episode with us, as he's now the 2-time Midwest Truck Series champ. So we'll have Brandon Reichenberger join us again next week. So that'll be fun. That'll be cool. Keep an eye on that as that comes out next week. We're looking to have that out on Tuesday on our regularly scheduled podcast posting. So when you're thinking about next week, keep an eye on that because I'm sure that will be absolutely a blast to watch and listen to.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
First one of the off season.
Yeah. And it's always fun having drivers on the podcast, different perspectives. So as we always say, like, comment, subscribe. And also, when we announce we have a guest coming on, if you got any questions you want us to ask a race car driver, send them our way. And pending approval, we will ask them. But yeah, we appreciate any likes, comments, subscribers. Share this podcast with your best friend, and then we'll see y'all next week for another episode of the Tuesday Track Talk